Today we're going to talk about the verb gustar. Okay? In Spanish, the word gustar means to be pleasing, which is a little bit different from the phrase to like, which we use in English. Basically, by changing it from I like chocolate to eating chocolate is pleasing to me, I move from the subject place to an object place. And chocolate moves into the subject spot. So in order to get better answers in Spanish, instead of thinking to like, if you think to be pleasing, it'll help you out a little bit with your getting these answers right. So let's look at the formula. This chapter, we're going to be talking about how to like to do things. So saying what activities we like to do. So we're only going to be talking right now about activities we like to do, which changes the formula a little bit. So first, optionally, that's why it's in parentheses, we're going to have what we call a clarifier. We'll clarify that later. Nextly, you're going to have an indirect object pronoun, which is the IOP. We're going to have the verb gustar. And then lastly, we're going to write the verb in an infinitive form. And that's the verb we'd like to do. What does an infinitive mean? We talked a little bit about the verb ser, and we said that the verb ser means to be, and ser is the infinitive. But we said when we change it in Spanish, when we say soy, eres, es, somos, son, or in English when we say I am, you are, he is, those are called conjugations. So a conjugated verb is one we've changed, like soy or I am, and the verb in the infinitive is the verb before we touch it. So in Spanish, it's things like ser, escribir, hablar, all that long list of verbs that we've been going over. And in English, it's verbs that look like to be. So that's an infinitive. It's going to be an important word for us in Spanish class this year. So first, when we're trying to figure out how to say I like to do something or something pleases me, we have to figure out who is pleased, right? Am I pleased? Is Javier pleased? Are you pleased? In English, we would say I like, you like, Javier likes. But in Spanish, we're going to think pleased. Because instead of choosing subject pronouns, which we practiced last week, yo, tu, él, we're going to use indirect object pronouns. So same idea, we're replacing the person's name, but we're going to do it with a whole new set of things. So if one person is talking, instead of saying yo or I or whatever, when we're saying what they like to do, we're going to say me. If a whole bunch of people are talking, we are going to say nos. If you're talking to someone, what do you like to do? We're going to use te in front of the gusta. If you want to be more formal and refer to someone as usted, you would say que le gusta hacer. If you want to talk to a whole group of people, if I were talking to you guys as a class, I would say les gusta. If you want to talk about one person, he or she, we would say le. And talking about a group of people, les. Okay, so we're not ever going to use yo with this formula. Instead, we're going to use me. So let's look at what these phrases mean. So in order to say he doesn't like, you're going to put the no in front of this indirect object pronoun. So no is going to be me, te, le. So no me, no te gusta, no le gusta, no les gusta. The no always becomes before that me, te, le. So let's practice. Pause a minute. Practice your 3 sentences. I like to study in Spanish. Write that one down in Spanish. Elena likes to watch television. And we don't like to do homework. Okay, let's look for the answers. I like to study.
Me gusta estudiar.
Excelente. Me gusta estudiar. Elena likes to watch television.
Me gusta mirar televisión.
Good. Le for Elena, because we're talking about her. Gusta ver la televisión, mirar la televisión. I think they're both good answers. And the last one.
Nos gusta hacer la tarea.
Good, but it's we don't like. So where would you put your no?
After the nos.
before the nos. No nos gusta hacer la tarea. No nos gusta hacer la tarea. So the no is always going to come before the me, te, le, nos, or les. So the second one was a little confusing. Le could be a lot of things, right? Le could be Elena, le could be Javier, le could be you, sir, le could be you, ma'am. It could be a lot of different things. So we're going to look a little bit about phrases that clarify or phrases that emphasize who they are. So remember in the very beginning, our formula said in parentheses a clarifier. So sometimes le isn't enough because le could be él, ella, usted, Roberto, Lola, your brother, anybody. Le could be replacing almost anybody. So sometimes we want to clarify who le is. Okay? So in Spanish, you're going to repeat it. So you're going to state them once as a le, but then you're going to emphasize or clarify again. The emphasizer or the clarifier always has the word a in front of it. So make sure you have that a highlighted in your notes because that's the word people leave out the most. So a and then the person's name. A and then the subject pronoun. Él, ella, usted, nosotros, ellos, ellas, or ustedes. The only ones that change pretty drastically are, you don't say a yo, instead it's a mí. And please note that me has an accent on it. And a ti. You do not say a tú. Instead, a ti, no accent on it. And these are going to come right at the beginning of the sentence or sometimes at the end. But pretty much they come right before the me, te, le, nos, or les. Which clarifier would you add to the sentence te gusta? Te gusta pasear. Good. So if we wanted to restate that sentence, it would be a ti te gusta pasear. No le gusta comer las papas fritas. If you're talking to someone, so you're talking to someone, so we've got that second row of choices, and we chose le, not te, what would we have?
Formal.
Formal. And which of our things is formal? Pepita.
Le.
Le is formal, but we already have the le. If we wanted to choose from our list of clarifiers, which of the clarifiers are emphasizers? Lola?
Usted.
So we would have a usted. No le gusta. For nos gusta preparar la comida. What would we add to that one? Jesus?
A nosotros.
Good. A nosotros nos gusta preparar la comida. And for me gusta estudiar español, if you wanted to emphasize, I love Spanish. Not everybody. I love it. Pedro. A mí, with an accent. Me gusta estudiar el español.